This is the title of my presentation, Role of Imaging in Improving Outcome of a Bifurcation PCI. Down. Okay, this is the typical angiographic appearance of the coronary bifurcation in the distal left main and the non-left main region. As you know, the bifurcation region consists of the proximal main vessel, bifurcation core, distal main vessel, and side branch. Bifurcation region can be classified according to the region location in the proximal main vessel, distal main vessel, and the side branch vessel. True bifurcation region is a type 111, 101, 011. For the treatment of the bifurcation region, there are two types. One stent strategy, the other is a two-stent technology. One stent strategy is a crossing over or provisional stenting, and two-stent technique is the crush, Guillot, T-stenting, tap technique. This is the treatment strategy for the distal main bifurcation. There are several types, different type of the stenting technique are used for left main bifurcation. This is one example of the expert opinion according to the angiographic indication and appearance. Actually, the data for the use of the current DS in left main bifurcation region is not sufficient. So we evaluate the long-term clinical outcome of our treatment of the distal main bifurcation using a current generation DS with a large number of study population. In this study, number of study population 1,353 patients. Among those patients, the early generation DS was applied is 889 patients, and the current generation DS was used 464 patients. The one-stent strategy was used in the 906 patients, and the two-stent strategy was applied in the 387 patients. The early generation DS is a Cypher and Texas and the Endeavor Sprint, and the current generation DS is the Zions and the Resolute and the Novoristan. The primary outcome of this study was a MACE, composite of cardiovascular death and the myocardial infarction, stent thrombosis, and target lesion revascularization within 3 years after the treatment. In an entire population, the clinical outcome is definitely better in the one-stent strategy than the two-stent strategy. In a subgroup, in the earliest generation DS, the clinical outcome is definitely better in the one-stent strategy than the two-stent strategy. What about the current generation DS? Numerically, clinical outcome is better in the one-stent strategy than the two-stent strategy. However, this value does not achieve statistical significance. The conclusion of this study was PCI with current generation DS for the main bifurcation region has the acceptable procedural and satisfactory long-term clinical outcome. One-stent strategy shows. What about the left main? Yeah, this is data from the main compare registry, which was done in the Asan Medical Center. They also report that the mortality rate was significantly lower in the IVS guidance compared to the angio guidance. This is the randomized clinical trial to evaluate the science for the long lesion, not the bifurcation lesion. Actually, we did this randomized study. We found that the IVS guidance is better than the angio guidance. Even in the subgroup of the IVS guided group, the clinical outcome is definitely better in the patient meeting the IVS criteria for stent optimization than the patient not meeting the IVS criteria for stent optimization. This slide shows that the clinical significance of the stent optimization, even in the IVS guided subgroup. There are several numbers of the randomized clinical trial to compare the different two types of the two-stent strategy in bifurcation region. This is the BBK2 study to compare the culotte versus TAP. The conclusion is the culotte is better. The other study, Nordic stent technique study, this is another random study, is to compare the culotte versus crush. In this study, culotte is better than the crush. The other study, recent study, DK crush versus culotte study, this is another random study. The conclusion is DK crush is better than the culotte. The finding is different, totally different from the other study. Which stent technique is better? The meta-analysis also report that to compare the two stenting technique versus provisional one stent technique, they report that the provisional one stent technique is better. However, recent randomized study report that compared to the two stent versus provisional stent technique is a DK Crush 5 trial. They report that DK Crush is better than just the provisional one stent technique. What is the conclusion of this study? Even in the randomized clinical trial, result is quite different. Is from the evolution of the new technique or evolution of the stent itself. I think a different result is not an evolution of a stent bifurcation stent technique. Main reason, we do not have a definite criteria or definition of optimization of the bifurcation stent. In the past, we proposed that the criteria for optimization of the bifurcation, particularly in the two stent technique. First one is a complete coverage of the side branch ostium with a side branch vessel. The reason why side branch ostium is a site for the higher recurrence after the two stent technique. Second one is the absence of the significant influence of the coronary blood flow by the extended stent strut from the side branch into the left main vessel. It means we need a complete, full coverage of the opposition of the stent strut into the main vessel. Finally, little or to no stent strut just above or near the side branch ostium. How can we evaluate this kind of the requirement for the optimization? Angiographic appearance after the two stent technique in the DK crush or culotte or provisional stent. Even in there are a lot of the stent strut that was crowded in the bifurcation cone, angiographic result is all angiographic result is quite successful. Therefore, I'd like to raise some question. How do we achieve such kind of the optimization after the bifurcation stent? Imaging guidance or angiographic guidance? We have to do the imaging guidance in the bifurcation region. And the next question, what is the criteria or definition of the optimal bifurcation stent technique in crushing, culotte, T-stent, TAP technique? What is the criteria? We don't have any criteria. Therefore, we cannot compare each different technique. Even in the part, we do a part. Why do we a part? What is the main mechanism? What size? How do I? After the part, what can we expect? So, in a bifurcation stent, particularly in the two stent technique does not matter. What kind of stent technique we used? Real matter is optimal versus suboptimal result, regardless of the stent technique. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to conclude that imaging guidance during the PCI is highly, highly recommended in patients with a bifurcation lesion, and we try to achieve a stent optimization, particularly bifurcation lesion. Thank you.